Why did you move to London? I actually have a video on this on my vlog channel, so I'll link that down below. Is it hard to be vegan in London? How are the fruit prices? I think the fruit prices are actually pretty good. The fruit is actually not that expensive at all. It might be even cheaper here than in Canada. Being vegan in London is actually not too difficult. Almost every restaurant you go to, there will at least be one option for you. And yeah, it's really not that hard actually, because it's obviously a big city. I'm sure it's not as easy as places like New York or California. Ugh, I love New York, but it's still not that difficult in my opinion, and you just gotta make it work as best as you can. Are you going back to Canada after your visa expires, or are you planning on staying in London a bit longer? I'm not really sure. I'm taking everything step by step. My visa expires next year in June, and my new job is basically a contract job, and that goes until basically the end of my visa. And I think at that point I do kind of have to leave unless I get sponsored by a company, which is quite a difficult task to do, and not many companies are willing to sponsor. And I'm not really even sure if I want to stay here longer, as much as I am having a lot of fun, but it's not really a place that I think I can see myself settling down, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, I wouldn't mind going back to Canada, but at the same time I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm trying to adopt a vegan lifestyle, but I'm having trouble thinking of various meals to cook, and I end up so hungry and galling off the boat. Can you name some of your favorite meals to cook? Some of my favorite meals to cook are on my channel, so if you would check that out, that would be great. My tip for you, if you are always hungry, is to incorporate some beans into, I don't know what you're eating, but I eat a lot of beans. I find that when I eat beans, I definitely feel a lot more satiated and satisfied. You need to up your intake if you are always hungry. Just eat a little bit more than you think that you have to. Obviously, vegan food generally is not as calorically dense as animal-based products, so we can eat a bit more or a lot more than, you know, when you're eating animal foods to get the same amount of calories. So I just recommend eating a lot, more than you think that you might need to. I went vegan over the summer, and tomorrow I have to go back to school. Any tips for really busy students staying vegan? Last year sometimes I had 12-hour days, so yeah. You know, I'm also a very busy person. You know, I think the best thing to do is food prep, make bulk meals. It doesn't take that long, maybe about an hour, 2 hours max, to make a ton of food, and you can freeze it, you can put it in the fridge, and you have food throughout the week, and it's really, really easy. You can make things like vegan chili, you can make things like curry, things like that. So I always make food in advance. I'm not a fan of cooking every day, so that is what I would definitely do in order to stay vegan and keep on track. Like they say, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. What are some of your tips for eating vegan at restaurants, and what are some of your favorite vegan desserts? My tips for eating vegan at restaurants, number one, is to Google before you go, or before you even pick a restaurant. Google like vegetarian restaurants or vegetarian friendly restaurants, whatever, things like that, and then many things will pop up wherever you are. Hopefully you're living in a place that is relatively vegetarian friendly, and you just eliminate the obvious things. You know, you go into a restaurant, for example, I go to an Italian restaurant, I order a pizza, I just ask for a vegetarian pizza with no cheese, and that works perfectly. I ask for pasta, you know, I order pasta and with tomato sauce, no cheese. You can always pick restaurants that are much more likely to have vegan options. Indian food, wonderful, amazing. Thai food can be quite vegan friendly as well. Middle Eastern food in general. Yeah, I mean, just pick foods that generally, or pick restaurants that generally have quite a few vegan options. But yeah, Google is your best friend. You can check out Happy Cow, which lists like a bunch of vegan and vegetarian friendly restaurants in your city. Oh, what are some of your favorite vegan desserts? My favorite vegan desserts, oh my god, it's so funny because when I first stopped eating dairy and eggs, I started baking so much. Like, I was baking so many vegan desserts that I gained like 5 pounds because it was like all really high fat and like just like not very good for you. So I stopped baking and then I lost it again. But anyways, oh my god, I made the best cinnamon rolls, vegan cinnamon rolls that were amazing. They were by the Sweetest Vegan. This was like a really long time ago. I mean, vegan desserts are pretty much all the same as, I just make like, you know, regular desserts just veganized. Desserts are actually quite easy to veganize from my experience. I love, you know, vegan cheesecake is great. Gelato is amazing. You can get sorbet gelatos that are dairy free, and gelato is like one of my favorite things ever. What else do I like froyo. I haven't had froyo in so long. I'm so excited to go back home for 2 weeks because I'm gonna have so much froyo. Frozen yogurt, if you guys don't know. Froyo is, depending on where you go, a lot of places have, you know, soy froyo that are dairy free, and that was like one of my favorite things to eat when I was back home in Canada. Here in London there isn't really that much froyo, and if there is, I don't think there's much like dairy free, which is really annoying. But yeah, froyo, gelato, things like that.